Okay.
I'm just going to need to not zoom in then, pretty much ever. As wide as I get here.
until something goes wrong. Panic. Panic mode. Oh, palms up and down. Guys are blue.
welcome back to the FIBA Men's 3x3 Challenger here on Edmonton. If you are watching the live stream, as you would be if you hear my voice, you will probably notice we have moved indoors as a series of storms has swept through the Edmonton area, and the court that we played the first 2 days on has been deemed unplayable. Task force now joined by Doug McLean as we scramble in here as we are about a minute into our second quarterfinal. Antwerp just beat Merksem to advance in the first quarterfinal. Here we have Amsterdam and Vienna. Doug, this has been a morning, huh? They played that whole game with 3 players. Not sure why Ciprians for Merksem didn't play, but a valiant effort by the local rivals. But here we have Amsterdam scoring the second point, so now 16 to Vienna. And that shot goes up from Vienna is too long, and putback is up and good. So Vienna and Amsterdam kind of continuing the theme where they kind of played below their reputation in this tournament so far.
Yeah, Vienna coming in with the number 9 ranked team in the world. Amsterdam, 4 appearances at Challenger events so far this year, 3rd at Princeton, 2nd at the Ultimate side, 4th at the World Tour Montreal Masters, and 5th at the Qualifier Challenger. So 2 of the top teams in the world going at it here in another quarterfinal.
And you know these players being mainly from Harlem and Austria. That basket is good to have a lot of familiarity with each other. With the new hazards of no borders, we almost lost one of our speakers. Says the players' effort flying out of bounds. But 8-4 after a 6-0 start, Amsterdam has settled in again. First time out, we can all kind of catch our breath now and try to settle in. So we got this quarterfinal, we got 2 more quarterfinals. Schedule will be kind of fluid, but we expect after the quarterfinals very quickly to advance to the semifinals, take a little break, and then we'll have a championship game. The goal is to try to get back on track for that 3:35 title.
That was the hope if we were able to get it. I mean, I think they're doing a great job to get the score ready, but with the team, there's too much water in the knees, and as we started to make the move over the Saddles when the rain came again, so it would have been completely unplayable at that point. Unfortunately, as it would have been great to end the tournament right in the heart of that Ice District downtown, but here we are, another great facility in Edmonton, Saddle Community Sports Center, multiple basketball courts, volleyball courts, the home of the University of Alberta Panthers and Golden Bears basketball and volleyball program, so a very nice facility to be able to jump into as quickly as everybody did.
And Cody Savage, he's been one of the best players for Amsterdam, knocks down that 2, and just like that, it's a 1-point ball game now for Vienna. As they launch the season, that's a little bit long. They're doing an excellent job on the glass, and we talked to again. Turning the ball is strong, and he'll fade away and score, and then Vienna. Impressive turnaround by Thomas.
Yeah, again, the size that he brings to this game, and then you got that kind of depth touch, and pretty tough to defend. Look at the way taking a shot to the head did Cromwell as he's just kind of grabbing that one eye. So I think they're great to see.
Can't see it on the camera, but you're sitting about approximately 2 feet from Scott, just kind of on a picture of that, I'll say. We are right up in the action here. Again, quarterfinal number 2, halfway through that separation. And a foul there, and that would be the 4th on Vienna. In that first game, as we watched, the fouls have been less than they were yesterday. A lot more free-flowing in the first game.
Absolutely, and I thought we saw that, as you mentioned, in the Antwerp Merksem game, I thought, especially as the game went on, Merksem started to find their rhythm a little bit, and the ball movement we saw from them was outstanding. And like you said, physical game, but far less in terms of the kind of fouling as we were seeing in stretches for an on Saturday. 2-3 games in the world. One of the 3 Dutch players on this team, Stojacic, Kovacevic, rather, for Amsterdam from Serbia, and Stojacic, the Serbian player, playing for Vienna, so 1 Serbian on each side. As Stojacic with a nice take baseline. And gets that one, disagreement from just enough to call him to get one. Converted by Stojacic. We talked a little bit off the air, but this game is also probably going to look different now that we've moved inside. We saw that first game. Most of these men's games did not make the 21 minutes. But the first one, very free-flowing, 21-17, and another one here where Vienna is well above the pace of 21 before the time that expires. Easier to shoot in a gym, but what other kind of adjustments have you played for? Well, it's a good question. You know, it's not a little bit about the fact that the slower provide a little more of a sure surface, and that's what this is going to try to bring it to good surface and use it all over the world. That's 4-4-4. But even yesterday, there was a little bit of time with what the team is doing and what's the sign of behind the building. You said the season got committed, so I wonder if here it's a little more free footing for them to plant back, stop, and does that increase the quickness and the pace of the game a little bit, and maybe help these teams somewhat? Nice entry pass. Bucket for Jan, who touches after the flag. Vienna moves it up top. With the ball is Norton, he'll lob it down low, deflected away, and Amsterdam will recover and throw it up top here. Exactly away from the top of the key. Gets a screen and pulls it back. Over the right hand on the right wing. Pull down his shot and travel. That's a good call. And he probably shot his feet a couple seconds earlier than the jump ball. Where he stepped back to get that shot off. But a pretty easy call from the official. Modern day point guard standing at 6'6" and absolutely ripped. So not the John Stockton prototype point guard anymore. As an old player myself, I would have no hope in today's game. It wasn't pretty probably for me back then to be at this out. Up top is a 2-point shot launched by Amsterdam, just short, and Vienna recovers on the left wing. It's too Mall, holding, trying to float in, can't find it. He's normally launching at 2 on the left wing as well. And now the shot starting to draw more iron than nickel. Vanderhoek goes right wing, finds the screen, dives into the lane, finishes it nice. Another big layup is missed off a great play by Vanderhoek. Bryson probably owes at least a beer after the game in seconds for that one, and that is a foul off the ball. What a play that was by Vanderhoek. 2 fakes in the air, and John Bryson was just unable to convert. And that's, I think, the window. You have to get these quarterfinals. Man, you got some of the top teams in the world here. And the ability for you to make mistakes, it's much finer. You can't have this kind of mistake. I know we can't, but there's some situations going to happen. But the fine line is going to be losing the ball. Absolutely. We know one of those semifinalists already is Antwerp. They're on this release of them. It will be a very intriguing matchup, whichever leads, and I would say, for me personally, Vienna and Antwerp are the most fluid of the games I saw, maybe along with Princeton. They are very impressive, especially offensively. Top 4 Dutch players in the world here in Edmonton. Huge hit there from Stojacic. Absolutely. Massive shot with the hand pass and lucky in the face. Now leading 14-10, 3:46 to play. Down here towards left elbow, goes right now, handoff. Kovacic took about 3 steps before he put that ball down. Step up, heads on that screen, and that force that travel. Not necessarily never anticipating that to happen. So the ball in your hands is too shuffle, and that forced the turnover.
Sometimes it's the mind games that make the difference a little bit. Holding on the left wing now is 36, and his two is short this time. Got a hold for the rebound out. Head right back in, draws a three, double two. Kovacevic puts it left in, and easy for him. And back with a three, and Seattle almost turns it over on the second. But they are able to maintain possession, throw it in. Crawford turns, spins left, goes away, and scores. What a shot by Crawford. He's got good hand time for a big.
So he really does. Top player in Austria, 36th ranked player in the world. And he's been a huge factor. Picked up a foul.
Didn't like that foul call. That's a tough one to take on player. Because of that bonus, he's going to get 3 free throws. Technical free throw on the 2 threes.
That's it. Kovacevic to the free throw line.
Additionally, that's the ninth. The technical foul also counts on the 2 foul count. That's the ninth. So from here on out, every defensive foul leads to shot and possession, which we saw a couple of the women's games. Amsterdam trailing by 4, but had a huge up on the foul side. 9 threes starting on the foul.
I just saw a couple of games earlier yesterday. The teams were in the situation where it was in their favor. And some of the teams tend to do the opposite you expect, which would be attack the rim, try to force their opportunity to get to the free throw line. And instead, those teams always become more passive, which is interesting to see. And cause some challenges. You've got to deal with what's in your hands. If that situation gets 9 fouls coming here by Vienna, that's not going to put the favor for Amsterdam as we work our way down the 2 or 2 row here in the state. 77 the second goal has hit the first of the 2 bonus free throws. The 2 is the foul of these 3 free throws. He gets the foul at home. Amsterdam 2, 3 minutes to play, 15-13. Holds, now goes right, grabs on Bryson, draws contact forward, and I think that might be a mental contact, but stays good for the really good sense of elevation for Africa to take that other team. The defenders up on a little drop and they're living themselves a trip to the Serbia from the other side. Impressive in that career. Gold medalist in both 3 at 3 for Serbia and 5 on 5. Long 2 by Vanderhorst is short and comes out quite a bit. And he will pull up from 2 from the right wing and nail it in a big shot for Vienna to restore a comfortable 5-point margin. 18-13, 2:22 to play. Vanderhorst is crossover, draws double, and draws nothing but last. Because of that, that's a shot clock violation. Really good double team by Vienna. It's a late lead, but when the shot clock's low, space on the field. Tries to create space, does, throws up a 2, no good. Vienna gets the ball back to throw right back in front. Turn, now he'll come right back in, throw it over Bryson and shoot it way long. After the ball doesn't get it, he's got to be careful so it's technical. Kovacevic now, nice foul pass in, finds his man and scores at Young. Great vision by Kovacevic. Amsterdam is such a tough foul for him. Good call by the tournament organizers. Easy basket there
for Stojakovic. Nice drive. Vienna's a 2 away from winning this game. Amsterdam, Van der Horst heads left, block double again, and he throws it up, rolls off. Nice forward for Vienna. Stojakovic now has the ball right wing. Looks for the screen from Norton. He'll launch it to the right window. Good. Thomas got up. Thought that was the game. He's on the bench right now. Thought we about done the game, but a minute to go. Amsterdam needs a lot of help. And they will get a little bit of it right there from Jan and Galea. Good job not to foul. Stojakovic holds right wing. Still looking for that game number 2. Instead off to the pass inside. And a nice finish by Norton. A good feed as well. Vienna a point away now from ending this. Yard in the fourth. Amsterdam 16. So let's not break it again. Not the first to 2. And you see that time at time the team is trying to do that. Just don't have to. Two missed by Vienna. So Amsterdam still alive. But they need 2. They need them in a hurry. Then they have to plug it in. And another layup on Yarn. So 17 seconds. Big sneak from Van der Horst. Pretty much right now. And Van der Horst will throw it up and it is long and hits the shot clock out of bounds. And that will all but seal this one up for Vienna. Impressive for them here to continue to stay perfect in this tournament. And Van der Horst will commit an intentional foul. And now the call timeouts. Amsterdam still got to take 2 more fouls to send Vienna to the last game of the season. So Vienna, barring a miracle of sorts, will lead Antwerp in what should be an outstanding first Sunday fight. Yeah, he's going to be shortest to knock off the number 4 ranked team in the world. So a couple things that need to speak to. your location, people games to get the shot. You get to see those two games. Now we're going to get set for Paris and Chicago. Paris, the number 1 seed out of Group B, which was a chaos group where every team finished 1-1. But Paris definitely did look like the best team out of that group. Whereas Chicago, only overtime in either men's or women's play so far in this tournament. Neither walk-off team by Katie Ford to be an incredibly game local Edmonton team.
Backdoor pass, and there's Diogo. What a feed as an easy dump for Diogo. As making that feed was Fauche.
expires. And Chicago's struggling on offense as well. We saw this yesterday, though. The last year was almost invisible in game number 1. It was the star of the win over Edmonton. There's much similar between New Jersey and Hawaii, but he got the first spectrum of the college experience. The right range is hurt, and we'll sit down with Watkins Figueroa. Rocco draws contact on the floor, and that will be a foul. Chicago's second team foul. Foul is not an issue for either team, really. Paris has none. It is 7. Finds iron. Carrington didn't know where the ball was able to grab it. I think his foot was on the line. Tough right there. The fundamentals are much better for Carrington than the box has. He actually identified where he was. Put a body on him and a good battle like this. And trying to bank that one off. You know, they have to win the worst for Cam Hoopfest in June. I thought that's really getting the tour on that. And they had 12-6 and 10 place finish in the Challenger event so far this year as well. Rocco continues to make his presence known, this time with a little post-up move, and Paris extends their lead. Craig Moore launches a two, that draws front iron, and he's been cold lately from beyond the arc. Yoko again draws a foul and will head to the line. Quick note on that Spokane Hoop Fest. That is an OG 3-on-3 tournament. That's been going on at the Washington native for 25 plus years. It used to be mainly Washingtonian, Idahoans, I guess, and Oregon folks. They would be there, but it's become, as you said, an international event. They have about a dozen courts going at all times, and you and I can sign up to go down there and get embarrassed if we want. It is open to anyone who wants to join. It is a fun event to be able to get the chance to get a spectator. State half the time as a West Insider. let's get back to the game as Moore has a nice pass and he finds the layup. Chicago touches the 14 block.
And look for developing in the second team of the world. The Paris team third at the World Cup. ULA and Sabrina both played in that event. So some strong performances from Paris so far this year as well. Probably looking for continuation on that one. We're going to talk this over.
It was borderline, but I think we've seen that one go in the other direction more often than not in this tournament. But Craig Moore, nice drive there. And had a chance for the 2-point score.
We're not going to be able to get
the strikes.
the action for it.
He is an athletic specimen. And she gets the ball back up top on the bottom. Throws her head left. That first step is so good. King McClure knows slouch on the defensive end, and he could not hang with Yogo on the top. So Rossier lays it up, and it's a little bit off the mark. Good rebound by Paris. Yogo hands it left wing, and now he's got more as a mismatch, and he'll hop step into the lane and throw it up short, and foul on the rebound. We'll give it back to Chicago. But I don't know how you defend Yogo alone here.
No, and Paris got it on. They're tearing out for him right now. They're letting him go at whoever's on those goal on that last one. They're just letting Yogo go to work here right now. But one player in the top of the what an impressive how well he plays defensively. And he's been able to defend bigger balls down the hole. And doing a lot of fantastic to get contest shots. Great at that over the rim. So it's not huge by compared to standard. As a tough over the rim.
Extremely important too, because Paris is one of the smaller young teams in this tournament. But have that pretty difficult with a couple guys in the 5-5 team, probably a small forward type with no free post and roll up and deal a race. So to be able to have that low post defense certainly does help. Great pass on the floor from Kevington. And Chicago back to 9. They definitely picked it up lately, but they have a big gap to try to make up for, and that's not going to help there. As most really was pretty quiet yesterday, and that was the third point of the game. Look at the ball here on the turnover. Gets it up the other way to his forward left-hand shot. Another good shot, doesn't take it. And a travel over Chicago.
Paris right now is in a good Chicago. We do have some offensive exposure. Don't give them an opportunity. Go. Not going to run the possibility. Let's have good possession and try to see if they can Craig Moore, this is that short. This is going to rebound, head ahead to the right side, spin out left, tries to find the floor. Goes back down the pass, go ahead right, pull up from the left elbow, and it's the ball. Goodness. That is a slow move right there. He didn't miss it. They said it's not fair to the U.S. Irish Creek to throw it down to Baylor. That's when he really might end his college career, but it did not. He had a strong 4-year career as a Baylor. Shot by McClure eventually leads to explosion of the shot clock. Chicago gets the ball back. And a timeout will allow everyone to catch the West 17 Paris. 2:49 to go. A final quarterfinal will come right after this. It's the two more American teams in Princeton and New York Harlem. Winner of this game will play the winner of that game. Antwerp and Vienna will play the quarterfinal. We'll meet on the other side as well. And we expect maybe a 3-minute downtime between quarters and semis. But pretty much we're going to go. We'll take that break before the final. We're trying to catch up from the winner that we have to lead us indoors. The first two to the World Tour Montreal Masters that we held in this city. Local did a real nice job shooting off McClure. McClure tried to go on the backdoor cut. Local let it. Pass sails out of bounds. Back to Paris. Local throws the right wing. And get it back on the left wing. One-on-one with Kevington. They pick it back up top first. We'll hand off. It's Wayla. Not our position shooter usually. Looked pretty good on the shot though, but it was off back by him. So we didn't have that. I was going to say there's something we're going to get rid of yesterday. I'll see it. Especially the stanchion that needs to. But right now for one of us. Turnover to Chicago. Close holds it right wing to the screen. Looks for Sabuela on the pick and roll. Good rotation. Kennington stops that in the pass. Rossi on the floor. Not so well. Another good effort by Chicago. Down but not out. And a foul by Diogo stops the ground by Kennington. Smart
first two of the day for Vienna. Such a quick release, and that was not a quick roll by the score at all. He started against the drive, but still got a hand in the face, and Villaray, back-to-back, ends it. Yoko early, Villaray late. As you mentioned, he likes to heat up as the game goes on, and Paris walks right over Chicago, 21-9.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to catch your attention in just a moment. For the players, the shuttle match will be starting at 3 p.m. You can go out to the front of the building where you entered. You'll be able to take the shuttle back to the hotel. There will be food available for the athletes and staff in class number 1. That's on the second floor, so you'll have to go to the main entry point, go up the steps, and we will have someone there to direct you to classroom number 1. And that will be at 3:15. So in about 20 to 25 minutes, food will be here. So if you have any questions, just find me and I'll do my best to answer. Thanks, everyone.
And welcome back to the Saville Community Center, not the Ice District, if you haven't been here through this morning, as we are in our final quarterfinal, which features Princeton and New York Harlem, both hailing from the United States. Winner of this matchup moves into a matchup with Paris in semifinal number 2. Antwerp will face Vienna in the other semifinal, and the final will be held later today. Patrick Erickson and Doug McLean, happy to join you on day 3 of 3 at what has been just a outstanding event, and one of the, honestly, the most fun events I've ever worked. Very excited to watch this matchup here between Princeton and New York Harlem. Contrasting styles, but there's going to be a lot of familiarity between these players from the collegiate days into the pro leagues, into the 3-on-3 days. I'm sure some of these guys were at NBA tryouts or G League tryouts. So there's going to be a lot of familiarity with some of these players, and an established team in New York Harlem, and a more recent creation, but a very successful one in Princeton, as New York Harlem will start with the basketball.
New York Harlem wearing the blue today, while Princeton will sport white. As you get a good look there at the Saville Community Sports Center. Big basketball and volleyball facility here in Edmonton. Will host the Canadian Youth Nationals starting tomorrow.
And a long 2 put up, and that is Brutus, Kadani Brutus for New York Harlem, who was one of their better players yesterday, and an early 2-0 lead for New York Harlem. Now off the bounce, a nice pass in. Here's Tyrone Nash for Princeton, getting them on the board. Quick start again, 2-1. Offense has been the theme of the day as the players have adjusted quickly to this indoor facility, and that pass somehow threads through, and Morgano puts that up and scores.
Just perfectly led by Jones, who finds Morgano. And that's not easy to grab that pass basically right at the rim, gather yourself, and go up with a defender on your back. But Morgano able to give himself a little separation, collect that pass, and go up quickly with the left hand.
Dominique Jones enters, and he'll get the ball right wing, reverse back up top, off the left hand. He'll pull up from the top, in and out. He's hit several of those through the tournament. Good look for him. He'll try it again later, I'm sure. Canyon Barry, son of a Hall of Famer Rick Barry, handles. He'll toss down low, and tossing up the shot and in, scoring for Princeton is Kareem Maddox with that basket. As now handling is Jones, and he finds his way past Maddox and misses the layup, and ball works his way back up top. Maddox holds left wing, kicks it back up top. Here's Canyon Barry, drives right wing, fends off a defender, turns around, and in and out. Unfriendly roll, and a foul on the rebound will give the ball back to New York Harlem. That one did everything but fall.
Yeah, Barry, a prolific scorer when he played for College of Charleston, averaging 19.7 points a game in his final season there. Did spend 1 year with the University of Florida to complete his collegiate career. As Antoine Morgano with the outstretched right hand floater that kisses off the window and in.
And right there, Canyon Barry answers back. Quickly, these games have started.
Oh yeah, they've been, it's quite remarkable. We saw a real discrepancy yesterday. Some games started like this, some lot more plodding, slow moving games, but these ones in these quarters have been explosive right out of the gate.
4-3 New York Harlem, the early lead over Princeton, vying for the last semifinal spot, and a big 2 by Brutus from the right wing, his second already.
2 seasons when in the NCAA with the Manhattan Jaspers. I said it on the broadcast yesterday, that's one of my favorite team names. I love it.
Absolutely, as Maddox goes left hand off glass, and Nash tips it up and in.
Back and forth we go. Princeton trailing here by 2.
Jones draws double, and what a pass wraparound, and there is, with the backdoor pass, Morgano with the layup, and Jones a beautiful delivery. Now Nash gets the ball inside. He'll body up and lay it right back in. Back and forth we go.
Yeah, that pass by Jones just literally puts it to a spot, hoping that Morgano can get there, and he did.
Brutus, another 2 from the left wing. He's 3 for 3 from deep, and that bodes well for New York Harlem.
Part of the World Cup team that finished 7th was Kadani Brutus.
They're going to call a foul on Tyrone Nash on the rebound. I believe that's Morgano down on the ground. Yes, it is, but he gets up. Looks like he just took a little bit of a shot. He should be fine. And that'll be New York Harlem basketball up top. A 9-5 lead, perhaps a little bit of a surprise, having finished 1-1 and been inconsistent yesterday, while Princeton cruised to a 2-0 Pool B top spot, as driving in and throwing up a shot is Brutus, who apparently just can't miss from anywhere on the floor right now. 4 for 4 and 7 of the 10 Harlem points. Canyon Berry now dishes off to Tyrone Nash. Ball's knocked around and all sorts of contact. Finally a foul called, and Nash will head to the line for one.
A very emphatic foul call, making sure everyone's here in that one, but that will send Princeton to the free throw line. Tyrone Nash, former Notre Dame Fighting Irish, 12th ranked player in the United States, 163rd in the world. Plays his club basketball for Rasta Vecta in Germany.
And shoots it lefty. And cashes in on the free throw. Princeton down 10-6. Just over 7 to play. Morgano fakes left, goes right, loses the pass, picks it up, and it's tipped out of bounds, and I believe that'll stay. Yes, it will, with New York Harlem just 2 seconds to shoot. Much easier to see the shot clock, I will say, from this position than our last one, as we will get a timeout here on the court. But New York Harlem 10-6, very impressive in the early going.
Yeah, and their ability, I mean, you see the passing ability from the likes of Dominic Jones, their ability in that screen roll game to open up players like Morgano, and then you combine that with the shooting of Brutus. And like I said off the top, this is a team that can beat you lots of different ways.
They do, and they've been going inside heavily to Nash with pretty good effect, but Nash definitely needs some help out here as this one progresses. Well under halfway in time, but almost to the halfway mark for points with New York Harlem, with 10 already in just 3 minutes, as Jones throws up a 2 that he had to as the shot clock expired, and it almost went in, but it will bounce out of bounds and turn over to Princeton.
And I will say, while we don't clearly have the same amount of seating as we had at Ice District, the ones we do have are pretty full. Some of the young national team players that are here, as a bucket goes, some of the young national team players that are getting ready for competition this week are here watching. So for a Sunday afternoon thing that got moved from one spot in town to another, it's actually looking all right here at Saville.
And what a treat it would be if you're one of those youth players that, as there's so many gyms here, a lot of the teams that'll play in the next week on the Nationals, if you're here practicing and you just so happen to see some of the best players in the world, that's a opportunity that does not come around every day.
And they would have just seen, some of those kids would have just seen probably their first underhand free throw of their lives, as Canyon Berry.
And if they look up some archives, they'll see his father do the same thing as one of the best scorers in basketball history, no matter the place or level. Kadani Brutus, a nice spin move baseline. He'll throw it up, and he finally misses, but that's because he was hacked and he'll head to the line for one.
And Brutus, 103rd ranked men's player in the world, has been outstanding here in the opening 3+ minutes. And he will now head to the line. As mentioned, those 2 seasons with the Manhattan Jaspers, 8.9 points a game, 2.7 boards a game in his career.
And he makes the free throws, so one score line is New York Harlem 11, Princeton 8. The other score line is Princeton 8 and Brutus 8. Tyrone Nash hands off. Here's Wilkerson, drives baseline, throws it up and in. Nice friendly roll off the rim and a nice little floater by Wilkerson. Princeton, after an early deficit, is closed within 2. Now Brutus again, right hand, and they've got to figure something out because there's another bucket. And he gets his 9th point.
Well, they have to get up in his face because of his ability to shoot from long range. Now his ability to put the ball on the floor as Maddox tips one home for Princeton.
And the advantage of the FIBA rules, he's able to hit that into the cylinder, and we get an offensive foul back to Princeton, who's eked their way back in here, trailing 12-10. Plenty of time to go.
Our first 3 quarterfinals rather were done before the time limit. This one looks to be on that same pace.
And there is Nash off the feed from Berry, misses, tips it back out to Maddox though, left wing, shot clock reset, and the throw down to Nash. Somehow gets that in a lot of pressure and throws it up. No basket but the foul, and Nash heads to the line for one.
Just one of those plays that on the surface, Maddox a little bit off balance as he threw the pass, probably didn't get the pass quite where he wanted it. Nash inside, having to deal in behind with Esenwune. able to pull it down, at least draw the foul, but one of those plays that didn't look great initially for Princeton, but works out with Nash at the line.
Short on the free throw, 1 for 2 from the stripe is Nash. And Morgano with the ball, heads right, bodied up by Nash, throws it off glass, off rim, short. Rebound though, knocked away. And it's going to be a 50-50, and the ball will stay with New York Harlem. Or sorry, will turn over to New York Harlem with a fresh shot clock. 12-10 our score. New York Harlem with a slim lead, just over 5 to play. The ball is inbounded on the left wing to Esenue. And now Kadani Brutus with the ball left wing. Nice little head fake, and he'll take Cannonberry to the hole and score. And Brutus is on a level that I don't think we've seen by any player in this men's tournament so far.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. They clear the floor, open that left wing for him. Barry did a pretty good job defensively, but a nice finish by Brutus at the rim.
Maddox lost the shot clock and missed the shot anyways. It'll go back to Harlem. 13-10, and Brutus has 10 of those points. Jones to inbound, guarded by Wilkerson. He'll throw it off the cut. Morgano spins left. Nash, nice rotation, forces the miss. Rebounded by Morgano, and Nash fouls him, and Morgano will head to the line for one.
Antoine Morgano, 1 year at New Jersey City University. Played pro in the Dominican Republic as well, and a veteran of this New York Harlem team.
He has, and we'll try to get to it here in a little bit, one of the most impressive and extensive travel experiences at clubs. He has touched 3 continents, and off the top of my head, I believe 6 countries in his club career, and that's not counting where he's traveled with them, just where he's been located.
Yeah.
As he is short on the free throw, grabs his own rebound and scores. Missed box out and a good follow. As Tyrone Nash throws down to Maddox, who has Brutus sealed. That was a mismatch, but Brutus did enough, and that too is well short. Some contact not called. Brutus under pressure from Maddox, heads left. Wrap around pass, finds Morgano, and the seal, though, came quickly, and good rotation gets the ball back to Princeton. Step back 2 from the right wing. Nash way short, and the ball knocked around into New York Harlem's hands. Morgano will clear. That took some time, though. They got to hurry. 4 seconds to shoot as Brutus is rejected by Maddox. That'll be his first official miss from the field. Kind of unfair to him. He had 1 second and a much taller player on him, but a good block by Maddox.
Yeah, and Brutus doing it at both ends. You mentioned that play earlier where they got the ball in deep to Maddox, and Brutus does an excellent job just bodying him out of that low block to force a tougher look for the U.S.'s #1 player, Kareem Maddox.
Cannonberry goes left off the screen, draws double, somehow splits it by himself, misses, gets the rebound, and they call a shot clock violation. That was incredibly impressive until the finish by Barry, who needed about a half a second more to get that rebound back in.
Well, half a second or a half an inch, had it even grazed the rim, he would have had a reset on that shot clock. But that initial one, as he split through the 2 New York Harlem defenders, didn't touch the rim, and shot clock ended up expiring on him.
Brutus guarded by Barry, left wing, finds screen, draws a double, and alley-oop layup pass to Morgano, and they tried to stop Brutus, and his passing comes into effect. Harlem with a 5-point lead, and Barry drives and scores easily. Princeton back within 4.
You see what Brutus can do. He forces those 2 defenders right up on him, and that opens up that look inside. A nice pass earlier there from Brutus.
Maddox guarding Jones, who gets the friendly roll home, and Jones scores, and New York Harlem, by far their most impressive performance so far, leads Princeton 16-11.
Yeah, for New York Harlem, there's something about coming to Northern Alberta that they seem to like, and here they are again, 5 points away from earning themselves a trip to the semifinals and a matchup against Paris. And again, that balanced ability, Dominic Jones, great court vision ability to find teammates. Morgano does such a good job slipping to the hole, and we've talked over and over again about Brutus. We haven't even mentioned really today Marcel Esenune, who was outstanding yesterday too, but has been a little bit quieter. But that's part of what happens in 3x3, is that you're going to have 1 or 2 guys in a short game step up and look dominant. You don't have to have all 4 guys on that same level, but when you've got the depth that New York Harlem has, that's what makes them such a difficult team to beat.
Yeah, case in point, Brutus was relatively quiet in pool play, and he is almost outscored Princeton by himself. Princeton has 11, he has 10. New York Harlem leads 16-11. Maddox holds left wing, watched by Jones, draws double, finds Nash, rotations there, and Esenue fouls him. under the hoop, and Nash back to the line for the third time.
We've talked a lot about New York Harlem's play offensively, but let's talk a little bit about how they're playing defensively. That lob inside and the close to catch up and make that a contested shot at the rim. Nash, in a lot of situations, that'd be an easy step and a finish for him, but the close by New York Harlem ultimately forced the line. He knocks down the free throw, but still making those shots all contested.
And that ball is loose and out of bounds, and that turns back over. And it will be Princeton basketball after some discussion as they set their plays. Ref says, let's go. And we will go. Wilkerson inbounds. Nash right elbow looking for Maddox up top. Pulls up for two and hits it. Big shot. That was needed by Princeton. They're back within two.
Yeah, one of the few times they've had a real clean look from long range.
And a 3-second call, or are they calling a 5-second call maybe, or but there was no presence in the key there, so that had to have been it, a guarding call. Regardless, it's Princeton basketball. Maddox holds on the right wing, looks for Barry. Barry grabs the handoff, finds screen for Maddox, and well read by Brutus. Jones gets the pass, step back, two from the right wing, short. Rebounded by Morgano though, spins, fakes, and kicks out to Brutus. Why not? He misses a two, and Morgano gets another rebound. Jones for two.
Sorry, Patrick, nobody puts a body on Morgano, able to collect those two offensive boards.
Luckily for Princeton, none of the baskets found the bottom, and we'll get free throws coming as Wilkerson heads to the line.
Princeton, though, starting to inch their way really into this now. I mean, they trailed 16-11, now 16-14. Chance now for Wilkerson at the line.
And lots of pedigree, lots of high-level NCAA players on this, lots of basketball knowledge for this Princeton side. They're not going to be one of those teams that panics. As a free throw good by Wilkerson, and Princeton draws within one. They are on a 4-0 run, 16-15 Harlem with a slim lead. Jones gets Barry in the air but misses the shot. Rebound finds its way to Barry, and he'll pull it back out, and they'll set up their offense. Nash back to Barry, two from the top. In and out, and that would have been Princeton's first lead since 1-0. Jones pulls up, shot blocked, and a good box out underneath by Wilkerson. Back out Nash, guarded by Jones. That's a huge size mismatch. Instead he opts, gives it back to Nash. Draws double, 2-point for Wilkerson. It was way wide. Saw that off in the release, and back out to New York Harlem. Opportunity missed for Princeton. Jones shot fake over Brutus, right wing. No good, and he has gone cold on his last three shots. And without that, New York Harlem looks a little lost offensively right now. Wilkerson backs down Jones, right-handed shot. Again, unfriendly bounce, but he gets his own rebound off the tip from Nash and throws it up and scores, and we're tied. 16-16, 1:30 to go.
Princeton getting on the offensive glass, giving themselves some second chance opportunities.
Jones again blocked by Wilkerson. Good defense on the closeout. Didn't bite on the head fake. And now right back, right wing, driving in, drawing a lot of contact, no foul. Wilkerson continues through it, a big block by Esanoue. To the right wing, Brutus traveled. He was too quick, and he didn't need to be that quick because he had an open path, and a big missed opportunity gives the ball back to Princeton. We have a timeout.
He saw that drive angle and that space for him, and he put the ball, got his feet moving a little before the ball got moving, and that's that travel, that sets up that travel call. And earlier on, we saw New York Harlem able to get on the offensive glass, giving themselves some second chance opportunities. Now the last few minutes, it's been Princeton really good on the offensive boards and cashing in and closing out, defending well, and then giving themselves those opportunities offensively. And suddenly it's a 5-0 run for Princeton to tie this thing up at 16.
16, and the clock's a factor too. 1:08 to play. Points and clock both very much in play. Foul situation, 5 on Princeton, 6 on New York Harlem. So Princeton 1 to give, New York Harlem up against the bonus. That could also be a deciding issue as well. New York Harlem has to find offense outside of Brutus as Princeton has looked to take him away after an incredibly hot start. Kareem Maddox goes left, guarded by Brutus. Really nice job again to force Maddox out, and his shot well short. Brutus handles, and a nice pass to Morgano. I don't think Morgano read that one. He was looking for a shorter pass, and he was led too far and out of bounds.
Yeah, that's those little couple meter or shorter passes are often tough ones to make because players may not be expecting it. Ball's coming at odd angles to you.
Barry drives left off of the handoff and takes about 7 steps. Falls over, frustrated with himself, knows he made the wrong choice, and we're still tied at 16 as both teams now have kind of figured each other out, I think, a little bit defensively, and it's going to be execution likely that could be the deciding factor in what is an excellent and close final quarterfinal. Winner of this moves on and will face Paris in semifinal number 2. Semifinal 1 is Antwerp and Vienna. Again, we don't know the exact start times yet, but we expect a quick break and a quick turnaround before the semifinals begin. So don't go too far from your screen, whatever kind of device you're watching on YouTube.
You can see the veteran presence of Kareem Maddox. Canyon Barry, a player you can tell gets a little bit hard on himself. He's often, I should have, just those little things that you're upset about. And Maddox comes over, just calms down, hey, we're good. And just keep him in the game. They know how important Canyon Barry can be as we are under 1 minute, but that veteran presence of Kareem Maddox, a 2-time USA Basketball 3v3 champion, the MVP back in 2018 of those 3v3 national championships.
Controversially left off of the U.S. qualifying squad that failed to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics. Jones misses a floater that he hits 9 out of 10, and Princeton has a chance for their first lead again since 1-0. Wilkerson splits a double, finds Barry, left wing open, it is short, and back to Morgano. Canyon Barry closes him down though. Brutus left wing guarded by Maddox. Brutus takes him left, and it draws both sides of the iron, but no net, and Princeton kicks back out. 11 seconds to play, 2-second differential between game and shot, exactly 3-second differential. Knocked out of bounds will stay with Princeton, and this is coming right down to the wire here for this final spot.
And they will go with Barry, Maddox, and Wilkerson here on this likely last possession.
New York Harlem needs to stop as we wipe down the court for a brief stoppage in play, but New York Harlem needs to stop. We've only seen one overtime game, men's and women's. However, it did come in our last pool play game yesterday as Chicago held off Edmonton 19-17, and we are threatening overtime here with 9 seconds to go, squared at 16.
6 seconds on the shot clock for Princeton.
Wilkerson gets the ball, 2 seconds, hasn't moved. Step back 2 is too late, and that is a critical misfire, and Harlem's going to have a chance to win it with 3 seconds to go. Got to get a shot off at the very least.
Yeah, I think just maybe unaware of the fact that the shot clock was down to 6.
But yeah, he might have thought a reset, and he's playing for that last second shot, either go to overtime or win the game. Maddox in his ear with some encouraging words. Play some defense. Let's go to overtime, and we'll get you back.
Yeah, I really love that from Kareem Maddox. Just constantly just chatting as calmly with his teammates.
Jones will be the one to launch the 2. It is short, and Barry's rebound secures overtime. We get another one, 16-16. We head to sudden death, 1-2.
Well, New York Harlem went ice cold. They led 16-11, didn't score there with about, I'm going to guess here, about 3 minutes left, 2.5 minutes left.
That's about my guess,
went ice cold down the stretch. Princeton able to get themselves to where we are here right now, and Princeton had a couple opportunities late as well with the basketball, could not cash in to avoid overtime, but here we go. First team to score 2 points, and this is always the decision strategically. Do you take the 2, and sometimes you see players force that 2 to try to get the quick win, or do you take it to the hole and try to get 1 and then play some defense?
And both Chicago and Edmonton opted to launch 2s until King McClure finally hit one yesterday. So we'll see how Princeton and New York Harlem play this. They're both capable of scoring in and out. Canyon Barry and Princeton will start our overtime session against first team to reach 2 points wins. Maddox will try to do it right now, right from the top, misses. Barry tips the rebound, but too far out of bounds, and Harlem's chance for the lead or the win.
Yeah, pretty good look for Maddox, and Barry, nice play by him as well to try to deflect that ball over to Wilkerson, but little strong, ended up over to DJ.
Not for the first time
Not
today.
for the first time today, although he prefers the ball than the player that almost went right through him.
Dominique Jones handles at the top, and that is tipped at the top of the arc. Jones wants a foul. He doesn't get it. Right into Maddox, and there's the one attempt, and it's in. And now New York Harlem has to worry about guarding all shots. But they can still win it right here. Do not have to win by 2. It's just the first 2-2. as Dominic Jones will step back. Left wing two is just off the mark, and Maddox secures the rebound. And right here, Tyrone Nash sitting by us says we need one. Wilkerson dishes to Maddox. He'll drive in, draw contact, and he'll attempt to win this one from the free throw line right now.
And you heard Tyrone Nash right next to us say, hey, we need one. You don't have to force anything up. And I think that's a really good decision, like what Wilkerson did. Broke down his defender, got up in the air looking for that little 8-foot jump shot. Good, smart decision. Rather than trying to force it, dumped it down to Maddox. A good position right into the rim, and he'll have a chance here to win it for Princeton.
And he does. Princeton ends the game on a 7-0 run spanning regulation and overtime. They defeat New York Harlem 18-16, overcoming an 11-point performance by Kadani Brutus. New York Harlem was game, but Princeton will be our fourth and final semifinalist. They will meet Paris in semifinal number 2. What a game that was.
And for the first time, an Edmonton Challenger will be won by a team not named New York Harlem. And they look to be in control, but Princeton never wavered. I mean, again, and I've mentioned it, I know already a few times, it's the calming influence of a Kareem Maddox, and you could tell, even when there was some frustration setting in, he's in the ear of his teammates, and I have to think that plays a huge role in why a team like Princeton in that situation is able to get themselves into a semifinal.
Wise heads prevail as we will take a quick step aside before semifinal number 1 between Vienna and Antwerp. That's coming up shortly.
On the stage, got the whole place rocking. It's popping, no stopping. Standing on the stage, got the whole place watching. Vacation, hotel hopping. I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal. Standing on the stage, got the whole place rocking. I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal. Worldwide on the scene, I'm a big deal. Everybody know me, I'm a big deal. Main event everywhere, I'm a big deal. And I'm big still, cause I'm a big deal. Worldwide on the scene, I'm a big deal. Everybody know me, I'm a big deal. Main event everywhere, I'm a big deal. Do that there, how you do it, do it, do it, do it, do that there. How you do it, do it, do it, do it, do that there. How you do it, do it, do it, come on, come on. Woo. Yeah. I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal. Standing on the stage, got the whole place rocking. I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal. I'm a big. Worldwide on the scene, I'm a big deal. Everybody know me, I'm a big deal. Main event everywhere, I'm a big deal. And I'm big still, cause I'm a big deal. Worldwide on the scene, I'm a big deal. Everybody know me, I'm a big deal. Main event everywhere, I'm a big deal. Do that there, how you do it, do it, do it, do it, do that there. How you do it, do it, do it, do it, do that there. How you do it, do it, do it, come on, come on. Woo. Yeah. Do that there, how you do it, do it, do it, do it, do that there. How you do it, do it, do it, come on, come on. Woo. Yeah. I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal. Standing on the stage, got the whole place rocking. I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal. 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 I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal.
Yo, man, pull up, ain't talking a reload. Bust doors, no need for a key though. Man, I take aim, but this ain't a free throw. No man, I bustin' if you're coming at me though. Bustin' if you're coming at me though. Bustin' if you're coming at me though. Man, I take aim, no free throw. No man, I bustin' if you're coming at me though. Man, pull up, ain't talking a reload. Bust doors, no need for a key though. Man, I take aim, but this ain't a free throw. No man, I bustin' if you're coming at me though. Bustin' if you're coming at me though. Bustin' if you're coming at me though. Man, I take aim, no free throw. No man, I bustin' if you're coming at me yo. Bustin' if you're coming at my head though. Fuck sexual innuendos. At the door like I'm coming for the rent. No, man's not running like I've got no legs. No, me, I'll bring it to you first. Not a coroner, but I bring it to your hearse. Man, I'm on full, man, I put you in the dirt. Man, plotting on the best, and I bring it to your worst. Always had a comeback, no banter. I'm known as a serial ranter. Means I don't hold back, nothing, put hands up. My emotions might leave me to snap up, wrap up, something, no gift, not Santa. Do you know where you're from? Don't matter. Anyone can be food, no platter. Have you wet man, let the thing splatter. Try no man, don't play that, don't play that. Been like that since way back. Man, roll around and spray that. Man, miss you, let's spray that. Yo, man, pull up, ain't talking a reload. Bust doors, no need for a key, though. Man, I take aim, but this ain't a free throw. No, man, I'm busting if you're coming at me, though. Busting if you're coming at me, though. Busting if you're coming at me, though. Man,
Challenger. This one will feature Antwerp taking on Vienna. To get here, Antwerp had to knock off fellow Belgian team Merksem 21-17, while Vienna defeated Amsterdam 21-17. Antwerp coming into this, the world's third-ranked team. They've won their last 3 events, the Princeton Challenger, the Pro League Utrecht Stop, and the Bordeaux Challenger, while Vienna 4th with this same foursome that we'll see momentarily at the Princeton Challenger, 5th in the Novi Sad Challenger back in June. Vienna ranked number 9 in the world. You just saw Antwerp introduced. We'll get to them in a second. Here is Vienna, number 1, Matthias Linortner, number 2, Philip Kramer, number 3, Martin Termal, and number 4, Stefan Stojacic. For Antwerp, number 1 is Rafael Bogerts, number 2, Thibaut Vervoort, the number 3 ranked player in the world, Nick Salis, the number 8 ranked player in the world, and Kasper Augustinian, world's number 63 player, but the second ranked U23 player in the world. And we're just about to get underway. It will be Stojacic for Vienna. Vienna wearing blue. Antwerp will wear the white. Doug McLean along with Patrick Erickson. Stojacic dumps that one down to Dubas, and the right-hand layup just spins home. The one thing you'll notice about Antwerp, if you haven't seen them yet, is just how quickly they transition from defense to offense.
They really do, and Vienna might be the next team that is as quick, as right there we see a layup missed by Kramer off a good rebound, but Vienna does retain possession.
This one could be very fast. These two teams possess a pace that we may not have seen to this degree so far in this tournament.
And that's why I pass play-by-play off to Doug, as he gets to keep up with the action.
Smartest guy in the room, Patrick Erickson, Patrick's doing all kinds of work, doing this, doing play-by-play, color, doing hosting in the building, setting stuff up. Patrick's been working like crazy and setting the court up literally on Thursday. So Patrick deserving a huge thanks and medals after all the work you've done over the course of this weekend. Vervoort with the miss on that deuce.
And he had to chuck that up at the shot clock buzzer. But man, Vervoort he's been good all tournament. Man, was he good in that quarterfinal. And he started to be a little more assertive with that shot, and that started to draw some defenders back out to him. I think they were trying to play his pass, and he said, no, I can still score. And we'll see how Vienna, who a team I'm sure is familiar with Antwerp, reacts to him.
One thing I like about Vervoort's game, again, and you hear me say this a lot, it's the poise and the patience of the players, and he's a good example of that. Every possession, there's a pace to his game, but a patience to his game, and that's not easy to do, to have both those things at once. Salis, beautiful left hand over Dubas. Now Dubas in the low block, he'll dribble it back out. Sorry, that's Kramer, yeah, thank you. Jumping back between other players, we got the right one. Kramer, my mistake.
He does look exactly like Dubas, wears the same number.
Yeah, but still, I need to get that one right, and we'll get it right going forward. Salis for 2. Misses that one, it sails out of bounds, and Stojacic will come in now for Linortner. Stojacic, 24th ranked player in the world, 9th in Serbia, as they're going to check the scoreboard here. There we go, now we got Vienna up 3-2.
And like the U.S., Serbia, especially on the 3-on-3 circuit, you see these players that play for non-Serbian teams, because most of the there's only 4 spots, and Serbia is the powerhouse when it comes to 3-on-3 in this early evolution of the game. They are impressive. They did not make this trip here, but if they make it in future times, Serbia is awfully, awfully good. And not that Kovacevic has played for him in the past, and he brings his experience over to this Antwerp team, and that's deadly when you combine it with Vervoort's athleticism.
Top 2 ranked teams in the world are from Serbia. And then this Antwerp team, number 3. Stojacic dumps it into Kramer. Foul first on Vervoort. 3rd team foul on Antwerp.
And that's going to be key right there. They got the switch to get Kramer free of Augustinen, who is their post. And Vervoort, not a slouch defensively low block, but he's not as strong. They'll have to continue to try to not get that switch.
Jumps underneath number 1, Rafael Bogaerts of Antwerp. Shot won't go, and it will be Antwerp basketball. 7:58 to go. Doug McLean along with Patrick Erickson here from the Saville Community Sports Center. Having to move here, of course, due to the rain earlier in the Edmonton area. Vervoort step back 2. Off the mark, rebound by Stojacic. He'll dribble it out.
Uncharacteristic back-to-back air balls from Vervoort.
Now Lynn Ortner hands it right back there to Termal. Shot won't go, but he's fouled by Nick Salis. And that will put Vienna on the line with a chance to build on this early 3-2 lead.
Already 4 fouls on Antwerp. In 2:22 into this game, that could be a problem down the line for the Belgians.
Termal most recently played pro with Halma and Vienna. The top 3 Austrian players are here, and then they add Stojacic, mentioned earlier, the 9th ranked player in Serbia.
And he was the one leading that team, trying to calm his teammates down in that quarterfinals.
And there's a great backdoor alley-oop from Salis to Vervoort. Both those men played at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics where Belgium finished 4th. Lynn Ortner able to get his own rebound, but shot clock violation as the initial miss didn't reset the clock.
We've seen a lot of errant shots in this game from both sides, more than we've seen pretty much since we moved indoors anyway. So interesting to see if that's just a blip or that's going to continue.
Vervoort, baseline little runner off the window and drops.
Whip it is.
Stojacic right back trying to look for Kramer.
And that's the adjustment. Vervoort couldn't handle him the first time. He said, no, he's not going to get the ball.
Yeah,
We got to foul him, but that's 5 fouls on Antwerp.
And none so far on Vienna through the first 2 minutes and 58 seconds. Semifinal number 1. Next semi coming up after this. That will feature Paris and Princeton. Princeton had to win in overtime over New York Harlem in their final quarterfinal. Here's Kramer. 3 on the shot clock. That one will not drop. Rebound by Rafael Bogaerts. Salis back to Bogaerts. Back to Salis up top. Tried to bounce it inside. Nice job there to Kasper Augustinen. Gorgeous. Beneficiary of a lot of alley-oops yesterday.
Yes, he was, and they're usually coming from Vervoort, who's taking a break right now. So good job by Salis to get that distribution with their number 1 playmaker on the bench, and we get a timeout.
And they're the first foul on Vienna, and we'll go to the immediate timeout. That one, I think, on Termal. Of course, personal fouls don't matter in 3x3. Team fouls do, and as Patrick's alluded to, already 5 on Antwerp with 6:29 to go as we are knotted up at 5 apiece.
And maybe we've seen it a lot, especially with these veteran top-level teams. They somehow switch it off when they get to that 5 or 6 foul mark. Paris, in both their pool games yesterday, was at 5 and 6 fouls within a couple minutes, and it took till late for them to get into the bonus. So Antwerp certainly capable of making that adjustment, but it is something to be aware of as they'll get the ball here to start, tied 5-5.
Here is Salis, has played his pro basketball in Belgium, focusing more on 3x3 in his career right now. Salis left hand, that one a little strong from right at the rim. Lynn Ortner, fadeaway jumper doesn't go. Rebound by Bogaerts. Rafael Bogaerts, 17th ranked player in the world. Also a 2020 Olympian. Stojacic steps out for 2 goes. Stefan Stojacic.
And if you're Antwerp, that's the one guy you cannot leave open, especially deep.
And a backdoor cut. Nice find by Nick Salis, and Bogaerts the beneficiary. 7-6 Vienna up. Here's Stojacic, kicks it out. Termal, another deuce from the right wing.
That's all created off of that drive, drew the double and an easy finish.
And Salis, they let him go on the feet from Vervoort, 9-7. Vervoort now steps right up on Stojacic. Now Salis takes over. And another 2-3 straight hit by Vienna. And a timeout called.
Back-to-back twos for Stojacic, who looks gassed.
Apologies, I thought we had a timeout called, not a timeout. And it will be Salis to put the ball back in play at 11-7, Vienna in front.
Very impressive start for the Austrian club.
Salis crossover, that one a little bit short. Rebound, nice box up by Lindortner in tight. He'll dribble it out. Hands it off now to Stojacic, working hard as Augustinen now draws the matchup on him, and they're right in Stojacic's face, and you said it. Hey, they cannot let him start to heat up, and you can see how it's forced Antwerp to be right out, literally a couple meters outside the two-point line.
Yeah, it's going to make it uncomfortable because he's also able to pass. I think he took a little shot to the gut there, lost his wind, but got it back, makes a nice pass inside there, but no good on the shot.
Kramer loses the handle going up, and a near travel by Augustinen. Almost he was going to dribble it out, then tried to pass it to Vervoort and had to hold that pass. Lob inside, well defended by Stojacic, and those type of plays that we've seen Antwerp execute so smoothly being completely disrupted right now by the defense of Vienna.
Yeah, great job by Vienna. We saw alley-oop after alley-oop or just backdoor pass after backdoor pass all through Antwerp's first 3 games, and it's been well covered so far by Vienna. Not that one.
Chris, quick crossover to his right, had to get that one off quickly. No touch on the rim. Shot clock violation, it will be Vienna ball. So for Antwerp, that is, I won't say they've completely cruised through this tournament, but they have looked extremely smooth. Looking a little bit out of sorts here right now with 4:42 to go. Trying to win their 4th consecutive event.
And a little bit, at this point, the rest difference is minimal, but they do have slightly more rest, having played the first quarterfinal, Vienna the second. But they're the one that looks out of sorts and tired right now.
And Stojacic, another one, builds this lead to 6. Does Antwerp have an answer? Augustinen for 2, and there's a big, huge bucket for Antwerp. Get them back to within 4.
And then they foul Stojacic because they have no other option, but that's the 6th foul on Antwerp. And they got no more to give.
So everything here on in will send Vienna to the line for a pair.
I think Kadani Brutus is channeling himself into Stojacic right now.
Oh, and a huge block from behind by Augustinen as Kramer thought he had an easy dunk. Shot clock expires and Antwerp starts to ratchet up the defense here with 4:09 left.
I was getting set to talk about how the double team and Stojacic's passing ability opens it up, but no, good rotation and denial at the basket.
Vervoort with 3 on the shot clock, well beyond the arc, puts it up. Off aim, and Stojacic with the defensive board. He works against Salis. Kicks it back out, Lindortner for 2, goes! And then quickly transition back for Antwerp. Blocked there by Kramer inside, so he gets blocked moments ago himself. Gives it right back to Nick Salis. And Antwerp in some trouble here with 3:42 to go, trailing 15-9 and in the penalty.
Yeah, we knew Vienna coming in absolutely could beat Antwerp. I don't think any of us expected them to be leading them 15-9. But Kramer, what a change. He's the one who's teed up and had to be calmed down to stay in the last game, and very calm right now. And although it's been Stojacic who's been making the offensive impact, his defense, Kramer's defense, has really affected Augustinen, and I think he's taken away a lot of that dribble drive and pick and roll action with Augustinen and Vervoort.
Kramer, 36th ranked player in the world, top player in Austria, has played pro in Iceland, Germany, and at home in Austria. Vervoort, guarded by Lindortner, 2 on the shot clock. Little strong, rebound by Vienna, that shot blocked. Salis collected for Antwerp. Stojacic screaming out defense to his teammates. Vervoort has to put that one up, gets the rim, but rebound to the hands of Kramer. Martin Termal left open from the left wing. Rebound, Cromer put home. 7-point Antwerp now trails.
Antwerp does not have an answer offensively right now.
And Augustinen settles for that 2. Under 3 minutes. Cromer loses it. 5 on the shot clock. Cromer working against Vervoort, has it stripped away. It'll be 1, and Cromer with a big smile saying, I've had enough, I need a break. But Termal beats him to the bench.
And I think the inbound, okay, we're going to get a timeout. There we go. Now he can sit, and let's see if he even gives him the seat up. What a gentleman that is. He'll get some water first.
But it gives you a really good sense of, yeah, the games may only be 10 minutes long or even sometimes a little bit shorter, but you just get a sense of how hard these players have to work. And because it's so physical and the amount of work you have to get through to get a bucket and get a look off, it's amazing what these players are doing out here.
Yeah, and you're constantly running, and with 2 less players on each side, you have to cover more court, both offensively and defensively. You're running at best a fast, or at worst a fast jog, often a sprint, non-stop, for however long the game takes.
It's a little bit about picking your spots defensively, so you have to be aware that you're not going to be able to do everything you want. That shot does go off the rim, but it will be Antwerp ball inside. Here's Bogerts up against Termal. Layup good around Martin Termal, and here's Stojacic. Bogerts on him. Screen comes from Linortner. Pull up for 2, short. Oh, and big offensive board for Vienna. Stojacic, good. Huge turn of events there as Antwerp looked to have the ball and an opportunity to close a little tighter, but that might have been the dagger right there for Vienna. Offensive board leads to a 2 by Serbian Stefan Stojacic.
And he found his favorite spot at the top and made no mistake.
Salis let go there for that layup. Now he will come back and defend Stojacic. Does Antwerp have a miracle? Offensive foul against Vienna, so they will get the possession. 2:05 left, trailing 18-11. Thing too for Antwerp, we've said it from early on, they cannot afford to commit any fouls here right now, with Vienna only 3 away from a win.
They have not committed that, but they haven't had to because Stojacic has been too good from outside, and a turnover on an offensive foul, back-to-back illegal screens. And they just don't seem to have an answer. Vervoort's been cold from outside, and after that and the pick and roll's been taken away, they look lost offensively for the first time all tournament.
Stojacic now picked up by Salis. Pull-up jumper at the free throw line, does not go. Rebound, Augustinen. Able to bounce it over to Salis, hands it off to Vervoort. Lob inside to Salis, and of course, Vienna right now can sell out and run Antwerp off the 2-point line, considering where they're at, up 18-11 and time on their side as well.
Absolutely, and then they just commit the foul inside. They have 3 more to give. Why not? Stop the easy layup.
Bogerts with Cromer on him, defending him well outside the arc. Good job by Cromer, great hustle. Ball ends up in the hands of Bogerts. Shot short, rebound Stojacic. He'll dribble it out. Kicks it now, Cromer from the left wing for 2, it goes.
I don't know what was said or happened to Cromer between the quarter and the semifinal, but this is a different player than we saw about a half hour ago, and he's winded, but there's a smile underneath that breathing. He's playing very, very well right now for Vienna, who's a point away from making the final of 2011.
And we've said that Vienna 4th with this group at the Princeton Challenger, and then 5th at Novi Sad back in June. So this would be their best finish this year. And you can probably hear Stojacic coming through our microphone sitting to our right as he continues to implore his team to play defense.
And we get a little floor cleanup. Cromer wanted the play stop for that before his 2. I think he'll be happy to take this order instead.
I think so. They'll find water all over the floor at this point, I think, just to give themselves an extra split second. Oh, there's a turnover. And a chance to end it. Oh, nice block by Salis behind, but that will do it. Cromer with the putback And Vienna upsets Antwerp 21-11. And they will head to the final here of the Edmonton Challenger as they are congratulated. Good sportsmanship here shown by Antwerp. They'll come over.
Finally, their run ends after 3 straight tournaments, which is impressive in any sport, but 3-on-3 where there's much more parity, that's harder to do. But you could see what that meant to the Austrian club as they were elated after the end of that, and they played probably the best game we've seen by any team in this tournament so far. That was flawless.
Yeah, and Stojacic huge early, knocking down some big twos, and you saw the side, and then what I like to, again, keeping balls alive all the way through, and that the offensive rebounding presence of Vienna made a huge difference in this win for them. So they will move on to the final where they will face either Princeton or Paris, our next semifinal.
That's going to be a good one. 2 pretty good fundamental teams. Princeton is going to have a very short turnaround, having just a 1-game break as Paris got a couple games to sit down. But we'll see how that unfolds here in just a few minutes as we got 1 spot left in the final to meet Vienna over Antwerp.
We're going to pause here momentarily and be back with that semifinal. Doug McLean, Patrick Erickson from the Saville Community Sports Center. Next up, it'll be Paris and Princeton. Seconds away from our second semifinal. This one will feature Paris and Princeton. The winner to take on Vienna, who just knocked off number 3 in the world, Antwerp. As you see, Team Paris, number 1, Paul Diocco, number 2, Vincent Fauche, number 3, Alex Villeret, number 4, Frank Seguela. And now for Princeton, number 1, Isaiah Wilkerson, number 2, Kareem Maddox, number 3, Canyon Berry, and number 4, Tyrone Nash. Paris unranked, Princeton the number 7 team in the world. And we are looking to have another excellent semifinal like we saw in the opening of the Final Four, as Antwerp, who would look in complete control throughout the tournament coming into this semifinal, knocking off Merksem in the quarter, but they fall to Vienna. These 2 teams got to this semifinal. Paris all over Chicago, 21-9. And then Princeton in overtime, 18-16. Knocking off Harlem on a 7-0 run. Harlem up 16-11 with about a little under 3 minutes to go, and Princeton went on a 7-0 run to put themselves right here in the semifinal. And live inside from the Saville Community Sports Center on the south side of the city of Edmonton, Doug McLean along with Patrick Erickson. Paris in white, Princeton in blue. Rebound, Canyon Berry. Now to Maddox. Tried to look inside to Nash, nothing doing. Berry gets past Villeret, who then just steps out for a look at a 2 and knocks it down. Good example, that transition. He saw Berry was going to get by him. Just quickly popped out. Paris finds him. 2-1, they lead.
Yeah, he said, here, Barry, you take the 1, I'll take the 2.
That's right.
Early lead for Paris. And right before that, we saw Dioko pull up for 2. Not that he can't shoot. We've seen him knock a couple down, but a little surprising how good that first step was in the quarterfinal win.
Yeah, he was outstanding, especially early, and that opened up Villaret later. And there's a foul right on the arm. Tyrone Nash.
He knows it.
Picks it up. Yeah, he knows it. Just one of those ones you think you're getting ball, instead you're getting a lot of wrist. And that will send Seguela to the line for a pair. Frank Seguela, second-ranked player in France. Plays club basketball for Stade Rochelet in the French top division. 9 points, 4 rebounds a game last year.
For those unfamiliar, France, one of the very, very best leagues in Europe, along with Spain and a couple of the Central and Eastern Europeans. So very impressive to be playing in that top division.
Barry quickly dumps it down to Nash. Nash working there against Seguela. Rebound out of bounds, and it's going to go off of Paris, it appears.
Dioko arguing the other direction.
Yeah, he thought it was off of Princeton, but regardless, it will be Princeton basketball. Wilkerson to put the ball in play. Defended by Dioko. Wilkerson step back 2. A little strong rebound though by Nash. Working here against Seguela. Left hand turnaround, nice finish. Nice soft touch there by Tyrone Nash.
They're going to have that inside advantage all game in this one.
Seguela puts it home. 4-2, Paris with the early lead. An offensive foul called against Princeton.
Calling Maddox on the seal off with the arm as he continues his on-court coaching in the ear of Isaiah Wilkerson, and we are both very impressed with his demeanor in that quarterfinal win.
Step back, Villaret does not drop. Wilkerson with the board for Princeton. Defended there by Foch. Bucket goes, and Wilkerson earns himself a trip to the line.
Yeah, Foch has just got to let him go there. He was beaten pretty easily and just committed the sin of a soft foul on a layup, and chance for Princeton to tie this one up at the line.
Wilkerson plays pro basketball for Dorados de Chihuahua in Mexico, and I know my Spanish accent is flawless.
I wouldn't know, so it sounds great to me, Doug.
Let's say it's absolutely not flawless, nowhere close.
I think it's been 22 years since I've taken that language.
Okay, well, that's a lot more recent than I have, let's put it that way. Barry to bring the ball in play for Princeton.
There you go. Come off it hard.
And Maddox coaching from the bench. Wilkerson, tough shot over top of Villaret, and those two will continue to battle away from the ball. Warned by the official. Dioko lob, backdoor, nice cut by Seguela, found by Dioko.
Yeah, beautiful pass there on the alley-oop layup.
Wilkerson left wide open. Misses that too from the right wing. Seguela up top to Dioko. Villaret, cross-court pass to Dioko. Shot goes, and Dioko, you said it, Patrick. I mean, his ability with that quick first step, and now knocking down shots from long range, that makes him even tougher to guard if you got to close him out like that on the beyond the arc.
Yeah, you have to play him, with the exception of a couple players, a step or two back as you would most players, and if he continues to develop that part of the game, he'll be close to unguardable.
Barry finds Maddox, guarded closely by Villaret. Maddox works hard, bodies him, couldn't get that shot off, won't count. Shot clock expires.
Good move by Maddox, but just enough by Villaret. That loose ball was the difference in that half second Maddox needed to get that shot off.
Foch to bring the ball in play for Paris. And Paris unranked, Princeton number 7 in the world, and Dioko with the slam.
That's tough as Barry gambled for the steal. It was a good play. It looked like he might have it, but just couldn't get it, and Dioko wide open as a result for the dunk.
8-4, Paris in front, 7:18 remaining. Look inside, and foul call. Both officials called one, and they're going to get that one on Paris. third team foul for Paris. Canyon Barry, former Florida Gator, also played 19 points a game in his final year with the College of Charleston. Seguela with the screen from Villaret, and we're gonna get an offensive foul, moving screen just beyond the left elbow, as Canyon Barry will take a seat to our right.
Very near right.
Very near right. I think you and I were both commenting previous places that we've called games. This is probably the closest we've been to anyone affiliated with on-court play. Basket counts for Princeton. We will have the media timeout. 8-6, Paris in front. But yeah, we're literally sitting within a meter of Team Princeton right now. We won't go right into their huddle, but we're darn close.
If we took the right earphone off, we could probably hear what they're talking about, or if we stop talking ourselves. But either way, yeah, it's a very nice experience, educational almost for us to be able to hear exactly what they're talking about in this huddle. Princeton down early 8-6. That won't faze them, though. They were down by 5 to New York Harlem, and they just tightened up defensively and ended up winning that in overtime. So this early deficit to Paris, I mean, they won't want it, but it's not going to bother them too much.
After that bucket, Nash fouled as well. He will head to the free throw line. Has played professionally in Germany, France, Dominican Republic, Israel, Turkey, Lithuania.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Tired just listening to that.
Well, it is amazing. I mean, calling the Edmonton Stingers games in the Canadian Elite Basketball League here in Edmonton, you see the pro players that come through and their resumes and the countries they've covered, every continent all over the place. It's pretty impressive what these players do to continue careers in the world of basketball. Wilkerson cuts down, Nash takes it himself, and then a foul after.
One ref is calling restricted area, one's calling a foul.
And we'll see what I think they're going to get.
Usually the senior official will get that call.
Yeah.
Yep, foul.
Yeah, and there will be a foul on Princeton. But there was, again, if you're tuning in, haven't seen 3x3 before, you cannot defend in that restricted area. You can after,
right? Once
they move the ball beyond that. But, oh, what a pass.
Nutmeg for you soccer fans out there on a gorgeous between the legs pass for the slam.
You're going to look at it right between the legs of Maddox from Seguela, finds Dioko.
That was a thing of beauty. 9-8 Paris.
Wilkerson kicks it back to Maddox. Working against Seguela, short on that pull-up jumper. Deflects out of bounds. It will be Princeton ball.
I like the commentary from Tyrone Nash saying finish him Mortal Kombat style, because Maddox clearly had an advantage in the post, but Paris does a good job defending that.
And there's a good look as Nash pops open under the rim. Seguela didn't find him quickly enough. Quick turnaround and score, and suddenly Princeton just down by 1, 9-8. That shot short from Dioko, rebound by Nash. Canyon Barry out. Beyond the arc, dribbles inside. Oh, that's a tough bucket for Canyon Barry to tie things up. Villaret comes, that's Foch with the miss. Now Nash spins middle with his left hand, it goes.
Really nice move by Nash, who's been excellent throughout the tournament in the low post.
Dioko kicks it out, Seguela, shot won't go.
Paris seems a little out of sorts offensively.
Maddox lost the handle, gets it back. Bucket and foul. You'll see it here. He loses the ball just as he goes up, pulls it back into his possession, knocks down the shot, and now Kareem Maddox, the former Princeton Tiger.
Sometimes that loose ball plays almost to the offensive player's advantage, because the defensive player might already have their motion in progress, and as they go up, Maddox is able to follow through and finish and draw the contact as well. As we have,
I think they're just checking the team fouls and the score as well. So
currently 5 fouls on Paris, 4 on Princeton, if that is the issue. Regardless, 11-10 Princeton after an early 6-3 and 8-6 Paris lead. Another good rally by Princeton after falling behind early.
And Maddox with a chance to extend the lead. And I think they're checking the team fouls, and that Paris should have 6 right now, because I saw the back official signal, and they always signal 6 team fouls just to alert everyone, and I saw him make that, but it has not appeared on the scoreboard. So as you can imagine, with everything, the move from downtown to here and trying to get everything set up and scoreboards and cables, and
the fact that we got from the time we left Ice District, and I mean pulled out of the parking garage, not even started walking, and from that point, just over an hour, and as arena that we have not been in for this event, period. And the fact that we're going an hour later is miraculous and a testament to the hard work of everyone involved in this tournament. So we'll take the small technical glitch here and there.
And they do get it updated. So the score now 12-9, Princeton up. Now 13-9 for Princeton, 16 fouls for Paris, 4 for Princeton. And we know we don't have the score bug on here, but we'll keep updating with the score. You can see it in the left side of your screen. Seguela, oh, that's a big hit for Seguela. Off balance as the shot clock expired.
Now
again, our crew with another excellent job getting that one. Another replay for you.
Might have ruled out a 1.
13-11. And backdoor Maddox from Nash. And even before the bucket went in, you could see Princeton trying to get back out defensively. Basket goes for Paris. Here is Wilkerson. Lane open for him. Has to pull it back out. Reset. 3 on the shot clock. Maddox for 2. Doesn't go. Nice tip out from Nash. Wilkerson for 2. Short. Rebound by Foch. Here's Seguela. Villaret, who tends to heat up as the games hit this mark. Midway point. Off on that shot, however. Here's Wilkerson on the right wing. Seguela on him. That shot a little short, tipped out by Nash. And again, nice job by Princeton. They did this in their quarterfinal, and Wilkerson knocks down the 2. Their ability to keep balls alive has played a huge factor in where they are right now, up 16-12 on Paris.
Yeah, outstanding offensive rebounding. 3 chances finally cash in. And you got Nash and Maddox both on the court. That's a ton of size, but the fact that especially Kareem Maddox can handle the ball so well allows you to play with that size, whereas some bigs would have to be the only big on the court.
That's right. Oh, and Barry loses it, trying to go behind the back. Dioko, left hand short though on the layup.
Gotta hit that.
And Barry left open for 2. A little bit short. Rebound by Paris. Dioko over to Seguela. Big bucket from the top of the arc. 16-14.
Seguela moving more perimeter with the size disadvantage, and back-to-back 2s. He can do both sides.
Barry tries to find Nash, and Maddox will come in, and we will have the immediate timeout. 16-14.
16-14 the score as Princeton leads Paris. 3:48 to go. Time would seemingly not be much of a factor with with Princeton just 5 points from the score margin, but we have seen crazier things. Foul situations, 6 for Paris, 4 for Princeton. So Paris, who's done an excellent job of toying with that line, but not really stepping over the foul margin so far. They're going to have to do it again, and especially since they trail by 2, but with the ball.
Paris puts the ball in play at the left elbow. This is Seguela. Backdoor finds Vincent Foch. 16-15. Lots of time left on the clock. 3:37 and double fouls called.
Thought they were going to call travel on Maddox.
Yeah, I thought they might have too, but they do not call the travel. Instead, double fouls.
And now that is the 7th on Paris, but I do believe because they're offsetting fouls, you don't get the bonus free throws.
No, you don't get the free throws. So, but Princeton does have the basketball, up by 1. Barry, that's a tough take, but it rolls off the back rim and does not drop. And there's a good bounce pass from Dioko. Finds Seguela. Tie ball game, 16 all.
Really nice job by Paris to fight back, because it sure looked like Princeton had this game in hand.
Wilkerson in traffic. He gets fouled and will head to the free throw line. That foul you'll see here on Villarreal. And that will send Isaiah Wilkerson, 11th ranked player in the U.S., to the free throw line.
And bonus time, so it is 2 free throws. That is the difference. You always get 2 free throws, whether it's a shooting foul, if you make the shot or not. So you could potentially end up with a 4-point play if you're fouled in the bonus on a 2. Just one of the other wrinkles that makes this a little bit different than the 5-on-5 version.
And Wilkerson calmly knocks down both free throws to put Princeton up by a pair. Try that backdoor look to Dioko, not there, well defended by Princeton. Defensive rebound for Wilkerson. Screen from Nash. Paris up, or trailing rather, 18-16. Wilkerson off on that leaner. Dioko zips it back in, and does it touch Maddox on the way out of bounds? They're going to say no, it will be Princeton ball.
Unselfish play, but might have been the wrong one. Dioko had a decent look from the top of the arc, a good spot to shoot the 2 from, but hard to fault him. He's had a heck of a tournament,
he really
especially
has.
that semifinal, or quarterfinal.
Absolutely, and Nash to put the ball in play for Princeton. Maddox goes backdoor to Barry, set play. 19-17, Princeton now up.
And Barry is hobbling. He took a tough spill on that one.
And Barry thought about the 2, gets, oh, what a play by Canyon Barry.
And he's down off the play.
He is really struggling right now as Villarreal hits that shot, and Canyon Barry just trying to gut it out here.
And I think Paris recognized that as they were desperately trying to keep that ball alive so they couldn't sub him out, but that ball is deflected out, and Canyon takes an incredibly well-deserved seat on the bench and a hope to regather himself here. But Princeton, all of a sudden, is a point away from ending this.
And what an effort, though, on that shot. Losing his balance basically on 1 foot. Barry spins it home off the window and puts Princeton 1 point away.
Yeah, he drove. He'd been hurt on the previous play as he's behind us trying to walk it off. Hopefully just a little bit of a jam shot, but he heard it on the previous play. Looked like he wanted to be subbed out, but the ball stays loose and it eventually finds him, and he didn't even settle for the jumper. He took it all the way to the hole in traffic and scores. Gutsy play by Canyon Barry, and you just hope he's okay to at least make it if Princeton can hold on and advance to the final.
Shot clock winding down. Wilkerson hits it!
And they do!
And Princeton will move into the final, where they will take on Vienna 22-18. Princeton defeats Paris.
And a really good tournament for Paris. Came in, upset probably the co-favorite in Amsterdam in their group stage. Played a tough second game and a close loss, and then really impressive in the quarterfinal today, and 2 pretty evenly matched teams. Princeton honestly just made a couple more shots in this one, but a very nice win for Princeton, who's undefeated at this point, and they'll advance to face Vienna in what should be a very entertaining final.
So Vienna, courtesy a 21-11 win over Antwerp in their semifinal, and Princeton, having just knocked off Paris 22-18, will face each other in the final. Princeton, the number 7 ranked team in the world, and Vienna
number 9.
Coming in number 9. So 2 of the top 10 teams in the world will face off in the final of the FIBA 3x3 Alberta Basketball Men's Challenger from here in Edmonton. He's Patrick Erickson. I'm Doug McLean. We're going to pause for a few minutes and be back with the final in approximately 15 minutes time, so about 4:30 Mountain Time here in Edmonton. Princeton and Vienna coming up in the Men's Challenger final from here in Edmonton.
Go stupid like rice in the club, and my songs go hard though, and they everywhere like pints in the pub. Girls wanna come a little close, cause they know that I'm running with the flow. Skip that P1, dope, I'm a nose. Don't you know that I don't cut up with these fools? My business is my business, and I get it. I rhyme sicker than most MCs that got signed with these major labels with my tricks, huh? I don't hang with fools. Let me get it straight, I don't hang, I owe. No go. You were always in a rush, gotta go. And you had a lot of money, now you got a lot of clothes. Decided stuff, but you broke though. No house, no car, just logos. You grinding your hand on a photo. Complain that the video goes slow-mo. You lost it all. Go, no Frodo. Your friends don't hang with you no more. Don't you know that I'm doing this for years. Went up and back down, then back up like a roller coaster. And everyone on that ride, let's get it. And if you weren't there, don't come closer. You don't have to call me.
We're a few minutes away from the final of the FIBA 3x3 Alberta Basketball Men's Challenger from here in Edmonton. And there you see how we arrived at this final. Quarterfinals, Antwerp knocked off fellow Belgian team Merksem 21-17. Vienna over Amsterdam 21-17. Paris all over Chicago 21-9. And then in overtime, Princeton defeating two-time Edmonton Challenger winners New York Harlem 18-16. And then the semis about half an hour ago, Antwerp, the number 3 team in the world, falling to Vienna. And then Princeton defeating Paris 22-18, and that has set us up here in the final. Princeton, the number 7 team in the world, Vienna, the number 9 team in the world, as teams continue their warm-up. Start of this one was supposed to be 4:35 p.m. Mountain Time. That'll be in about 3 minutes from now, but there might be a little bit of a delay here. So we'll see. We'll a couple minutes away. The 1 clock I'm looking at is a couple minutes fast. We are at 4:30 here right now, so probably about 5 minutes away from the start of this game. We will have the lineups introduced for you, but just to set the lineups first, Princeton will feature Isaiah Wilkerson, the number 162 ranked player in the world. Tyrone Nash, number 163. Kareem Maddox, number 21. And Canyon Barry, number 55. And then for Vienna, it will be Matthias Linordner, Philipp Kramer, Martin Termel, and Stefan Stojacic. And it has been an excellent weekend of 3x3 basketball here in Edmonton. Unfortunately, the weather today did not cooperate. We did try to get it in at Ice District Plaza in downtown Edmonton, but the rain that happened early this morning caused some issues, and then shortly after the decision was made to move it here to the Saville Community Sports Center, the rains came again, heavy rains in downtown Edmonton, so it would have made playing completely impossible. And just to set the scene, if you're tuning in, if you've been watching all weekend, we appreciate that. The women's series wrapped up yesterday with Team Canada knocking off Team USA in the final. But if you are just tuning into this final, we are here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, in the Western Canadian prairies, about 4 hours east of the Rocky Mountains. About an hour and a half flight east of Vancouver. And Edmonton, strong history in basketball. As mentioned before, there have been 2 men's challengers and 1 women's series event held here previously back in 2018 and 2019 in this very building, the Saville Community Sports Center, that is about 12 years old, and a facility built on the south campus of the University of Alberta here in Edmonton. Has multiple basketball courts, volleyball courts, and is a real important facility in terms of event hosting. This venue will host the Canadian Youth National Championships this week, the U15 and U17 age levels. Also hosted the U Sports Final 8, which is the Canadian University League, and that was held in the main gym just a few steps from where we are right now. That back in late March and early April, with the Carleton Ravens knocking off the Saskatchewan Huskies, and one member of that Saskatchewan Huskies team played in the qualifying round yesterday morning to get into the main draw of this men's challenger. They did not qualify. Team Edmonton, the home-based team, got through and nearly got themselves into the quarterfinal, falling in our final pool play game last night, 19-17 to Chicago. And the warm-ups are done, so we will get underway on time at 4:35. It will be Vienna in white. Princeton will wear the blue. Vienna 4th place with this group at the Pristina Challenger, 5th at the Novi Sad Challenger back in June, as mentioned, the number 9 ranked team in the world. And for Princeton, and we will get Vienna announced first. And there is Matthias Linordner, Philipp Kramer. Number 3 is Martin Termel, and number 4, Stefan Stojacic, who was outstanding in their semifinal win. And now Princeton finished 2nd in the World Tour event in Utsunomiya back in May. Last year won the FIBA 3x3 AmeriCup. And as mentioned, the 4 Princeton players: number 1, Isaiah Wilkerson; number 2, Kareem Maddox; number 3, Canyon Barry; and number 4, Tyrone Nash. We'll keep an eye on Canyon Barry. Appeared to sustain a bit of an ankle injury late in their semifinal victory. He was out taking jump shots shortly after they had wrapped up their berth in the final. And appears to be okay. And coin toss goes, and some laughs shared between Cromer and Maddox. It appears that Princeton won the toss, and they will get first possession. Doug McLean along with Patrick Erickson just about set for the final of the FIBA 3x3 Alberta Basketball Men's Challenger.
This is going to be an exciting one. Both teams are going to be gassed. They play 2 games in short order, but they will not care.
And we get going early. Wilkerson with the 2 to give Princeton the early lead. Cromer hard to the hole against Wilkerson. Gets Vienna on the board.
You wouldn't expect anything less. Both teams play quick.
And Maddox, nice step under Lindorder, who now pops out for an open 2. Wow, this
really quick.
We are off to a blazing start. 3-all, and it's just 30 seconds in. Nash missed that layup on the feed from Maddox. Maddox directs traffic.
Might hit 21 before the 5-minute mark.
We might at this pace. Cromer pull-up jumper off the window, a little bit short. Rebound by Maddox. And finally, these players look slightly human. And foul on Vienna. There's that step under. Sorry, Patrick, a step under there. You see on the replay from Maddox moments ago.
And Canyon Barry checking in for the first time in this title game. Tweaked his ankle at the very back end of that semifinal, but he's going to give it a go. He was taking some shots during the intermission, and apparently it worked. He just hits a 2 there.
Yeah, nice start for him. The ankle appears to be okay. Thermal. Cromer tried to slip, but didn't need to. Big deuce hit there by Thermal. And the biggest cheerleader of them all, Stefan Stojacic, right next to us. Wilkerson left open for 2 from the left wing. Knocks it down.
My goodness.
Big bucket, 7-5. Not even a minute and a half in.
That's a big bucket. Wilkerson is a very good outside shooter, but hasn't had a lot of that as Vienna completely loses track of the shot clock. Wilkerson, though, yeah, he hasn't really shown that outside touch too often in this tournament, but why not show up in the final with back-to-back 2s? Princeton up 2 as a timeout called.
Yeah, one of the few mistakes there by Vienna, like you said, Patrick, just kind of lost track of the shot clock completely. But it is, we've seen games throughout this weekend on both the women's and the men's side, slow, grinding ones to start. Well,
not this.
I'm not sure what you describe this as, but slow and grinding would not be it at all.
Frantic, and it's 7-5, and that's 1s and 2s. That's just a heck of a start, 1 minute and 26 seconds. And there was that flurry of 5 baskets scored on consecutive possessions. So, and I think even Stojacic, he's coming over to his teammate on the bench here, and I think calm down a little bit, slow down. And we've seen that, and Maddox for Princeton too, but Stojacic has been in his teammates' ears all the time, getting them to focus on the task at hand.
Well, that's what you love sitting this close, is you see those little intricate details, and I've loved it from Maddox, just the calm voice in the ear. Stojacic a little bit of a different style, but still gets that same message across. Hey guys, we're in this together, let's not worry about it. So Maddox takes that feed, finishes the layup, 8-5, Princeton now in front. Lob inside, great defensive play there by Canyon Barry to check that one out, as Cromer had good separation on the back seal against Canyon Barry. Stojacic to Cromer on the left elbow, guarded by Maddox. Here's Lindorder, steps back for 2, in and out, rebound Maddox. Oh, tried to find Barry, but he and Wilkerson both were closing on that ball. They both stopped at the same time. One of those ones we've all had in various sports we play. You haven't? No, and it sails out of bounds.
I guess it beats the collision if they both decide not to give up, especially with Barry being one of the players.
Stojacic knocks down the 2, and Thermal takes over the chief cheerleader next to us here as Stojacic is on the floor.
And they can't give him that shot again. He hit 4 of those in quick succession in the semi. And he gets another one.
Long 2, that one just a little short. Cromer, though, had inside position on Wilkerson. And now quickly, no one closes on Wilkerson, short. Rebound by Lynn Ortner.
Cromer closed just enough to throw that shot off.
Yeah. And a foul by Wilkerson. That's going to be an intentional foul on Isaiah Wilkerson underneath.
That's a bit of a tough call. Size mismatch, definitely trying to foul there, but to call it intentional when players have been doing that, I mean, again, we're going to get away from that narrative, but it's a tough call because a lot of times you've been making that foul and now you give up a free throw and possession. 8-8 now, Vienna all of a sudden has tied this game up. And Princeton may be in that situation. They're not used to leading today. They've come from behind their first two games, and they were up 8-5, now tied 8-8.
And Cromer at the line, 36th ranked player in the world, #1 in Austria. As I look around, some of the teams, Team Edmonton taking in the action. Antwerp up top. Saville Center, a 2-story building with, of course, all the courts on the main floor, but some viewing areas up top. So they're up top. Team Edmonton, Team Winnipeg. To our broadcast right, here's Maddox. To Nash, now to Canyon. Barry tried to find Nash inside.
It's Doug McLean off your screen, makes the play and saves the ball. Surprised that's only the second time that's happened today.
I'm just glad the ball was slowly coming at us and not a couple 240-pound players. Lynn Ortner steps back. Jumper won't drop. Maddox quickly to Barry, now to Nash. And
looks like a hook.
Yeah, and Stoyat just knew that he might have been in a little bit of trouble with that matchup against Nash and goes over, pats Nash on the back. I love that about the 3x3. I mean, again, we talked about it earlier in the weekend that these players are on tour often coming up against each other at various events, so they know each other well. And you see a lot of, as we have the media timeout, you see a lot of the, after a play, guys just tap each other on the back. And I mean, it's very competitive, don't get me wrong, but there's a certain level of camaraderie here that you may not see in other competitive situations. Yeah,
and it kind of just plays off of how, essentially fun 3-on-3 is. You can compete on the court afterwards. You're going to shake hands. Exemplified in the first quarterfinal when we have two Belgian teams, both essentially. We have Antwerp and Merksem, Merksem's essentially a suburb of Antwerp, so those guys have grown up playing and competing against each other since the time they picked up a basketball. But they were right there at the end of the game, shaking hands and moving on. Love to see that sportsmanship.
Wilkerson up top, guarded by Cromer, gets underneath both Vienna defenders. That ball tipped away by Cromer to Stojacic. Lynn Ortner scrambled, and Wilkerson gets the tie up. And he will help up Lynn Ortner, as the tie-up will favor the defensive team.
Stojacic, not for the first time, took a shot to the gut. He's hunched over, just trying to catch his breath. He'll take a seat for a second right next to us. Just does look like, I think that's the third time today alone he's taken an elbow into the chest sternum area, and he'll be fine. He just needs to breathe. And he'll get some breath as we get to mop up some moisture on the court.
As we get the court mopped up, the ball cleaned up a little bit as well.
I think the players will all enjoy this minute downtime because all of these players are on their third game. First game started 1:30. We're at 4:45 right now, so we're talking about a lot of basketball in quick succession.
Yeah, it's a marathon that's filled with a series of mini sprints, essentially. And a travel called on Wilkerson.
A really nice defense there by Lynn Ortner. Wilkerson kind of found himself in no man's land and picked up that pivot foot when he had no other option. So good defense there by the Austrians.
Here is Lynn Ortner, kicks it out. Termal, little runner from long range. Rebound by Maddox, quickly over to Wilkerson.
Yep, and again, Stojacic knows exactly what he's doing when he's fouling Nash or Maddox down low. He does not want any part of them in the low post.
No, and again, in 3x3 you can afford that to an extent. Fouls right now probably not in a bad spot, 3 apiece with 6:13 to go. We've seen some through the quarters and semis where teams are getting into that 5-6 range right now, so at that 3-4 minute mark, and so these teams probably in a decent spot foul-wise. Wilkerson gets the handle back, puts it on the floor. Runner from the left side of the lane gets his own board, puts it home. 10-9 Vienna up. Here's Stojacic. Screen coming right from Cromer, and an offensive foul, moving screen, they're going to say.
And Cromer didn't need to do that. The screen had been set. He continued to set it as Nash tried to come off it, and that's why he gets that call. That was a huge bucket by Princeton. That ended a 5-0 Vienna run.
Canyonberry guarded by Lindorder now. Oh, great pass in and around both Vienna defenders to Nash, who finishes it off.
His father's watching at home. They'll be very proud of that pass.
Cromer from the right wing. Good for Cromer. Philip Cromer hits the 2. 12-10 Vienna as Wilkerson looks to be a little banged up. Left knee.
Could be cramps, could be the knee. As you said, 12-10 Vienna as Maddox helps Wilkerson to the bench. And again, this is just going to be an unfortunate theme, the necessity of the compressed schedule that the weather caused. But these are all pros. They will fight through it, but you don't want to see it decided by an injury.
Berry, another great look to Maddox for the dunk. Left hand bounce pass. Tough angle for Canyonberry, but he finds Maddox. Well defended there was Turmal as they tried to go curl back door. Maddox cut that off. We'll get a look at that pass. Great find by our camera crew as Maddox gets the seal on Lindorder, and a great find by Canyonberry.
Back-to-back, really nice assist. Berry still ginger on that left ankle, so maybe a little bit more of a facilitator role since he might have a little bit of a less of a step on his drive. But either way, outstanding passes.
Cromer hits the free throw. 13-11 Vienna up as we near the 5-minute mark. Maddox guarded by Turmal. Short corner jumper. Good for Kareem Maddox.
What a shot. Hand in his face.
Number 1 ranked player in the United States, 21st in the world. Stojacic down the left side of the lane, bumped by Canyonberry. And that will send Stojacic to the free throw line.
Stojacic calling for that pick because he knew the switch was Berry, and on a healthy ankle, Stojacic is going to have a step on Berry, but took advantage and heads to the line for 1. That's 5 fouls on Princeton, so they're creeping towards that limit.
And Stojacic, outstanding in the semifinal, hits the free throw. 14-12 Vienna. Wilkerson up top to Maddox. Pulls up for 2 and hits. I'm not sure that's what he wanted. He was looking for Nash, and instead says, hey, I'm just going to take this shot from the right wing, knock it down, give my team on equal footing. Stojacic, oh my, what a big bucket back.
In the face of the biggest player on the court, too.
And hot pass from Wilkerson, deflected by Nash. For a second, thought it might deflect in, but foul called on the play. Shot wouldn't have counted even if it had kissed home, but Canyonberry will now put the ball in play for Princeton. Has played with the G League's Iowa Wolves and played at the World Cup in 2019 for the U.S., where they were world champions. And Berry, lefty layup, continuation, foul on Cromer.
I think the ankle's fine.
It looks fine, and that reach on the left hand.
And once again, Stojacic having to calm Cromer down off ball. We saw him teed up in the quarterfinal. Came back with a vengeance in the semi, but again, maybe a little distraught at the officiating call. But the leader that Stojacic is, he's not going to let that happen in the final.
And Canyonberry, outstanding free throw shooter, and you'll see why momentarily. Drains it.
Hasn't missed in the tournament from the line.
Stojacic, a little runner from long range. Long rebound out to Wilkerson. And a collision there. Foul is going to be called on Stojacic.
That's bonus. That's a tough foul to take. 2 players hustling for the ball. Pretty much came together at the same time. And I think they just teed up Stojacic.
Yeah.
That is, that's a tough break for Vienna.
It is, but in fairness, they had warned both Cromer and Stojacic earlier, and the conversations continued, and that's all you can really ask of an official, is to warn them before the quick tee. Berry hits the free throw.
That's an automatic if Barry's the one at the line.
Well, and hey, it's something to consider when you think about building a 3x3 team, because of the importance of free throws and the fact that it's the same as a shot from inside the arc. You want to have guys like Canyon Barry can knock down free throws, and here's a situation. Wilkerson will take these because he was the one fouled, of course, but Barry able to take those technicals. Princeton now with a chance to get themselves close to a win.
One more, they'll be within a 2. That's a little bit of a comeback because Vienna had looked pretty comfortable up 16-14. Princeton's offense had kind of stalled out, but
and Stojacic still talking to the official and getting warned again. Cromer left alone, but now will dribble it back out to Lindortner. Might have gotten away with a travel. Lindortner a little strong on that too. Great box out by Kareem Maddox, and he will calmly bring it out to clear. Barry, 18-16, Princeton up. Here's Wilkerson. Off the window, a little strong. Rebound Cromer. He'll dribble it out to clear himself.
Good job under pressure from Wilkerson.
Absolutely great. Great dribble there by Cromer. Shot clock winding down. 2 on it. Stojacic, that one off balance and off. Defended well. Good close by Barry. And we will go to the media timeout. 18-16. An excellent final here so far. And while we have a moment, just want to thank some of the partners who have supported this event throughout. Ice District and Rogers Place, a team at the Oilers Entertainment Group, for all the work they did. Unfortunately, we couldn't finish the tournament there, but hey, a great setting through the better part of the weekend. So amazing support from them. Explore Edmonton and the City of Edmonton. Edmonton Events, the partnership that brings sport and cultural events to the city. Thank you for all the work and support there. The Edmonton Elks, Red Bull, the Downtown Edmonton Business Association, the Edmonton Stingers, of course, Canada Basketball, their continued support. The senior women's national team spends a lot of time right here at the Saville Community Sports Center, so thanks to Canada Basketball. Innovative Benefits, William Huff, Taste of Edmonton, the Edmonton Youth Basketball Association, Alberta Basketball Officials Association, Edmonton Basketball Association, and the Edmonton Basketball Officials Association. And a lane violation for 3 seconds on Princeton. Also want to thank IC Live, the production crew. Unbelievable job by them all weekend long, getting things set up at Ice District, then saying, hey, let's go move it over to Saville, see how that works. And they did an incredible job getting this stream going and having us on the air. So cannot thank them enough for the incredible work they've done all the way through to make it possible for you, wherever you're watching from around the world, to view. And thank you to you for watching from here in Edmonton. We hope you've enjoyed both the women's series and the men's challenger events. So thank you for tuning in and watching great FIBA 3x3 basketball, and of course to FIBA for all the work they continue to do for 3x3 around the world. Now back to the action. Here's Turmal. 18-16, Princeton up on Vienna. Cromer goes behind the back, and a foul on Tyrone Nash.
6 on Princeton.
So that will put them in the penalty. And Stojacic up top to put the ball in play. 3:15 to go. Doug McLean, Patrick Erickson from here at Saville Community Sports Center in Edmonton. The final of the Alberta Basketball Men's Challenger. Nash deflects that ball out of the hands of Cromer.
What a cheeky play. He just saw it. He's like, oh, let's reset this. Short shot clock, just smacks it out of his hands.
Absolutely. And I mean, you've got a shot clock now down to 8 seconds, so limited time for Vienna. Here's Cromer. Lindortner has to get a tough one over Maddox. Rebound by Barry. To Maddox. Runs right into Barry. Now down to Nash. They'll give him space, and Tyrone Nash able to finish with the reverse layup. Stojacic. And Princeton leaves him alone. Scores. Maddox now with a chance to win or get Princeton very close. Barry to Maddox. Dribbles back outside. Maddox for 2, just short. Stojacic rebound. 19-17. Princeton up on Vienna. Under 2.5 to go. Stojacic, that one off. We had a great look at it right in our line of sight. Off the right side of the rim and out of bounds.
And you can see Stojacic upset with himself, but Princeton's adjusted to the anybody but Stojacic beats us defense. He draws a half double or a full double every time as we get a timeout called by Princeton.
Princeton now chance to win, up 19-17 on Vienna.
And you can see what this means to the players here. All of them trying very hard, players diving all over the court. You can hear whatever Vienna player happens to be on the bench at the time screaming out defensive calls at the top of their lungs. You know how much this means for both of these teams to try to pick up a title here in Edmonton.
You and I barely have voices left. I would be shocked if Stojacic and Martin Turmal have voices left after this, with the encouragement that they have from when they're subbed out. Nash to inbound it to Maddox. Now to Barry, quick look at it to Canyon. Barry, had a great look at it there. That one will deflect out of bounds. It will be Princeton ball as they execute out of the timeout.
Both sides of the rim, but didn't fall, and Barry, he knows it. It was a great look.
It was a great look and well set up by Princeton.
And a grateful Doug and I, as Stojacic opted not to dive
come
into us.
Through us.
I'll take him over Tyrone Nash, but still, he's a big man.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I don't need either of them coming through us. Lynn Ortner. Blocked by Maddox. Great play defensively. Lynn Ortner popped open momentarily. Shot clock winding down. Cromer, that one doesn't catch anything. They had a couple rebounders down there, and Stojacic chatting with Lynn Ortner. And there you see that great close by Maddox.
And that hustle right there at the end to stumble back and just get up enough where they didn't want to throw it down for the open layup.
Maddox to Wilkerson, guarded by Lynn Ortner. To Maddox, 2 on the shot clock. Will he get it off? No. Turnover. Cromer to Stojacic, guarded closely by Nash. Running through the screen from Cromer, left open for 2. That one well off, gets his own board. Good seal there by Cromer to get them to within 1. Here is Maddox to Nash, back to Wilkerson, guarded by Stojacic. 4 on the shot clock, and we've got double fouls. Lynn Ortner and Nash.
Nash pleading his case.
And double fouls. Barry says, hey guys, it's okay.
No big deal.
Yeah, that's right. Nash was frustrated getting the foul call, but and there he's sharing a chuckle now with the referee.
And honestly, this benefits Princeton, because that's the 9th. So now any Vienna foul is going to be double bonus, which in 3v3 is 2 free throws and the ball.
That's right. And we'll get the floor mopped up here. Shot clock at 4, so it would not reset after those double fouls.
And you can see right there, Stojacic now back in view around Kenny Barry, hunched over. He has played his entire heart into this one. He is gassed, but he's not going to give up with 1:24 left.
Barry around Lynn Ortner, a little runner, doesn't go. They didn't have a lot of time on that shot clock, of course. Stojacic, screen from Cromer. Now continues to his left. They let him go. We're tied at 19. Maddox dribbles out to Barry. Step back 2 off the backboard. Wouldn't drop. Stojacic, lob inside, defended by Barry. Shot won't go. Lynn Ortner blocked from behind by Wilkerson. Wilkerson left alone for 2. It doesn't drop. Under a minute, under 50 seconds now. Stojacic short. Wilkerson comes up with it at the top of the arc. 9 on the shot clock. 19 all. Princeton and Vienna. Wilkerson for 2. Doesn't go. Cromer with the rebound. He'll slowly dribble it out. 8 on the shot clock. Stojacic defended by Barry. Screen coming from Cromer. Maddox steps up a little late. Shot doesn't fall. Rebound. Lynn Ortner puts it. No, he doesn't put it home. Rebound Cromer. That one drops. Now does Princeton force themselves into having to take it 2. Cromer and Turmal yelling hands off because of the fact of the double bonus.
And that allows the layup. We're tied. 20-20, 8 seconds to go. Could you want more from this tournament?
What a final. And what a final couple minutes here.
What a fight back by Vienna. Looked like they were all but out of this, and they find a way back. They had the lead 2019 and forced Princeton into that basket. And now Princeton's going to hope for a stop in overtime, much like the semifinal.
And great job defensively by both teams to get out and run each team off the line. Stojacic, 3 seconds left. Deflected away, out of bounds. And it will be Princeton ball with 1 second.
Cromer asking for why it's not their ball, but it definitely looked like it. And I was, again, grateful that Maddox decided not to dive for that right in front of us. It looked like it's the right call.
Well, they don't want to dive through these tables either any more than we want them diving into. 1 second left, so it's going to have to be a quick look. Barry will be the one to put the ball in play. Quick look for Barry, that one off the mark. And it wouldn't have counted had Nash's shot dropped. So we will go to overtime. First team to 2 points wins it.
And we had one overtime game, period, in pool play, women's and men's combined. By the way, it came in our final pool play game, and this will be the second overtime game today, and both of them featuring Princeton.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's and Princeton, the team on shorter rest, so I'm sure they would have rather have won in regulation, but being the team that was in the disadvantageous position, I'm sure at this point they're pretty happy just ahead to overtime. And again, first, as you said, first team to 2 wins, and strategy comes into play. We saw Princeton get that one that forced a different style of defense in that semifinal win.
Yep.
But both of these teams have plenty of capable 2 shooters, including the man who's going to start with the ball, Stojicic.
He puts it in play to Cromer. Linortner for 2. Oh, just off the front iron. Thought it might rattle home. Stojicic steps back. Lob inside to Cromer, guarded by Wilkerson. He'll pop out. Quick look at it to himself as the shot clock wound down. And a foul. And that will put Cromer on the line for 2.
I guess if you're going to foul a shot in the bonus, that's the one to do. Is already a 2-shot foul,
That's
which
right.
would have still been 2 free throws, but a chance for Vienna to walk this off from the line. And Cromer would be a pretty, it'd be a good player to do it given his trials and tribulations of this tournament.
First free throw for Philip Cromer. Good. One more will win it for Vienna. Number 9 ranked team in the world. Trying to knock off number 7 Princeton. And it's good. Philip Cromer from the line.
Look what
wins
that means.
the Edmonton Challenger for Vienna.
As they mob, as big of a mob as you're going to get in 3-on-3, they mob Cromer, the center of controversy with technical foul in the quarterfinals, rebounds with outstanding semifinal game, and gets the 2 points from the free throw line to give Vienna a well-deserved championship.
And Vienna 4th at the Pristina Challenger, 5th at Novi Sad, and now winners in Edmonton. And to do it in what was an outstanding final, back and forth. And Princeton had opportunities, leading 19-17 at one point, as we'll take a look at some of the highlights from this final. But Vienna, as they battled all the way through this tournament, find a way late. And Cromer, after getting fouled from beyond the arc, hits 2 free throws to put them in top spot here in Edmonton at the FIBA 3x3 Alberta Basketball Men's Challenger. We'll run through Vienna's tournament. They were in a pool with Team Edmonton and Team Chicago, knocked off Edmonton 20-18. Then Chicago 21-17 to sit atop Pool D. Beat Amsterdam 21-17 in the quarterfinal. Antwerp 21-11. And then win the final here 22-20. And Stefan Stojicic, the MVP of the Challenger here in Edmonton. You get a look at him. The native of Novi Sad, Serbia. 9th ranked player in Serbia, 24th in the world. Has played pro in the past with KK Vojvodina's Novi Sad. And while Princeton was able to keep him off the 2-point line a little bit here in this final, he was still extremely effective, forcing defensive adjustments all day long. And Princeton, an outstanding effort by them. As there you see Kareem Maddox with Alberta Basketball Executive Director Paul Sir. And Maddox, a veteran of 3x3, and just loved his presence with his team all weekend long.
I don't know. There's a prize, but I don't know.
The conversations with his teammates just keeping them on track, and Kareem Maddox, an outstanding event for him and for Team Princeton. And in a moment, Vienna will receive their reward as Maddox congratulates Team Vienna for their win here today. And Patrick and Marc Majot was on some of the earlier broadcasts, and I talked about just the great camaraderie and sportsmanship here. And hey, it's competitive. There are battles back and forth, but pretty competitive. And there you see Martin Turmel on the back of Matthias Lindortner, as Vienna comes to Western Canada and wins the FIBA 3x3 Challenger. And that will do it for us. It's been an incredible weekend of basketball. There you see the bracket here at the knockout stages that led to that 22-20 victory for Vienna over Princeton in the final. So Vienna, the winners in the men's challenger. Canada, the winners during yesterday's FIBA 3x3 women's series event. An outstanding weekend of basketball. Thanks to all of the people that have helped put it together. IC Live, our wonderful crew here that help make us look good. They do all the incredibly hard work, and we get to have the fun here doing things on air, but thank you to them for everything. To FIBA Canada Basketball, of course, Explore Edmonton, City of Edmonton, and Alberta Basketball. And to thank you to everyone who's tuned in throughout the weekend. My name's Doug McLean. I've been joined alongside with Paul Sir, Patrick Erickson, and Marc Majot throughout the weekend. Thanks to them for all their great work. Vienna, the winners of the FIBA 3x3 Alberta Basketball Men's Challenger. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the rest of your day.
Standing on the stage, got the whole place rocking. It's popping, no stopping. Standing on the stage, got the whole place watching. Vacation, hotel hopping. I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal. Standing on the stage, got the whole place rocking. I'm a big deal, I'm a big deal. Worldwide on the scene, I'm a big deal. Everybody know me, I'm a big deal. Main event everywhere, I'm a big deal. And I'm big still, cause I'm a big deal. Worldwide on the scene, I'm a big deal. Everybody know me, I'm a big deal. Main event everywhere, I'm a big deal. Do that there, how you do it, do it, do it, do it, do that there, how you do it, do it, do it, do it, do that I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal.